Anybody, here we go. We got a good one today.
Yeah,
Excited for this guest to be on the show and excited to get to learn a little bit more about the recruiting process.
I think the biggest thing in the athlete vocabulary when you talk about these sort of things is how do I get recruited and how do I get my name out there, especially in the society we live in today. There's so many cameras, but it's like it's important to know who's watching you and how they can benefit you in your future. So this is a good one.
Yeah, 100%. So here we are, the Athlete Chronicles podcast with Tom and Henry. I'm Tom. This is Henry.
And
And today on the show, we got none other than the king of sports from ASM Sports, Chris Vidal.
Hey guys, how are we doing? Lovely to be here and excited to get some good information out there and help a lot of athletes. So I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. I've had a few conversations with you before, but I just like to kind of get you a little bit broader into Western Canada and see what we can do, what you can do to help athletes get to universities and where they want to go. So if you're ready,
That's
we can
Yeah, I'm
jump right
ready,
into
man.
it.
Let's do it, man.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
I'll say, okay, so Chris, obviously you're not from North America. Where are you from?
Yeah, no, I'm originally from London, United Kingdom. Came out here when I was 18 on a golf scholarship, and because of that process and how that went down, that got me into the industry of college recruiting and now sports management. So yeah, from a smaller town in London, but now live here in the Florida, West Palm Beach. I love it out here. You would see the
So you,
sunshine behind me, but it made me close the blinds, so
yeah, it's tough. It's a little bit of a cloud here. It's all good. So
it's
so
nice
you
and
got
sunny here.
recruited to come to North America, to the US to play golf.
Yeah, so I was playing about +3 handicap, which is okay, pretty good, I guess. And I wanted to come to the States, so I looked at Tiger Woods' golf book. He had like how I played golf back in the early 2000s, and it had 2 pages or 4 pages about Stanford University. I had no idea about university or college golf. I didn't even plan to go, to be honest. I was going to go pro when I was 18 and just go for it. But when I saw Tiger went to Stanford, I figured, well, if he did that, I have to do that, right? He's number one in the world. He's the role model. He's the one you follow. So, I had good golf, but my grades weren't, Stanford material. I was just passing school. So, um, doing the research, I mean, back in the early 2000s, we had just like Gmail, Google, Yahoo. We didn't really have all the Facebook stuff yet and
Mhm.
Instagram stuff. So, back then it was you would record a video of your swing, put it. YouTube was just kind of coming around, new thing. But yeah, I emailed the coach, didn't get a reply. And I started emailing like other schools, didn't get a reply. I think I did like Florida State, UCLA, and these ones, and I was like, dude, how come this is not working? Like, why didn't I reply back to your emails? And then this agency came along and did a presentation at a tournament, and I was like, sold. They could have said anything and we were signed. And
Mhm.
my mum paid her hard-earned money. Nothing really happened, so it's kind of disappointing. They were a Scottish agency, and yeah, they promised the world, promised us get a D1 full ride, and it was getting to March of the year I was meant to go to college in 2005. And, my mum and I decided to go to Orlando just really on a vacation. So we went to Orlando, and I was hitting balls at I was at the Nick Faldo Golf Academy. It's like a range and a small golf course, hitting golf balls. And this coach came up to me, not a college coach, I was just PGA coach, right? Saw me hitting balls and just started asking questions, right? Because I used to hit it pretty good. And he was like, hey, man, like, where you from? And I see you hitting balls here. And got chatting, and he told him I want to go to college. I'm trying to figure it out. He literally called like two coaches there and then for me. He called Bowling Green and Notre Dame. And then the next day I had Notre Dame coach flying down. The day after I had the Bowling Green coach flying down to watch me. And then I got two offers like that. And I was like, what? That's like as easy as that. Like you just made two phone calls and boom. And but unfortunately the scholarship offers weren't high enough, so I couldn't do it. I needed a full ride really because I didn't really understand how expensive it was over here. And because I was so late, they didn't have the money. So the recommendation was to go to a JUCO, a junior college, do that for a year, then it could transfer. And they helped me get the junior colleges. So one of them put me in touch with Midland, the other one Indian Hills in Iowa. And the next minute, I know I'm being paid to fly to these coaches and visit them, and got 2 full-ride offers and decided to go to Iowa. So that's how I got it.
So is that whole process that you learned for yourself? Is that what decided that you go, I think I can help other people do the same thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, I was really frustrated that, yeah, I was kind of let down by this agency. Like, I'm a big kind of, if you say you're going to do it, do it. And, um, I did, coming from a single parent mum, like money was, throwing money away was just nothing you do. And then I had a lot of friends part of this other agency that were also not getting any luck. So when I was in, my first 2 months in college, I was doing really well. I was actually getting other university coaches reaching out to me and saying, hey, do you want to come to our school? And funny enough, I started getting like UCLA and UCF and all the Alabama and all these big ones I actually wanted to go to. I would say Notre Dame and Bowling Green probably weren't on my radar list, but I was being loyal to them. I told those coaches, I'm going to pick one of you guys since you guys helped me out. But all these other coaches, I would just say to them, look, I'm not going to come respectfully, but I have a friend that would be interested. So I would start calling my friends using Skype and saying, hey, you want to come to the States? And they're all interested. So within 3 months, I placed like 30 players, and all from my college dorm room. I think it was like 25, 30 players. I did it was like 22 golfers and I think around 6 soccer players. So somewhere between 25 and 30, all from my dorm room, 18 years old, just networking with golf coaches. And then a golf coach would say, hey, the soccer coach also is looking for a player. Can you help? I was like, yep. And so I built my reputation early on, and it just, from there spiraled into golf, soccer, tennis. Then it went into basketball. Did a bit of basketball, all sorts. Yeah, that's how we did
So then
it.
fast. So I'll just fast forward, but I'll come back to where we are. So one of your partners in ASM Sports is the legendary Ernie Els.
Correct. Yeah,
So
yeah.
how did that?
That happened about 10 years later. So now I'm like 28 years old, and I just sold my first business doing recruiting, because I brought in 2 partners, and I told them, like, let's, Ernie came along because I met his social media manager, and she was like, we have players from South Africa that want to get help. And I met with Ernie Ellis' management team. They were like, look, we'd love to work with you, be a part of the business, but my partners didn't really see the value in it. So I said, there's massive value here. So I literally sold my other
Mhm.
business, started a brand new one with Ernie from scratch. And we partnered up, and we started doing a lot of South African players. So it was kind of like going back to the start again, right? I started in the UK. I was like, okay, now South Africa. Flew over there, signed a bunch of players, placed them really quickly. Within a year, we were doing more business in the new agency than the one I had from 10 years prior, right? Having Ernie became massive because it opened doors, it created credibility. And for me, it was starting the vision of something bigger than just doing college recruiting. It was also about how can we actually look after these players through college, manage them, and help them become pros. And if you have that kind of icon figure, you now can prove you have this pathway. So
Sure.
that was kind of why I did that move, and it's been very successful for us. And now we're at 2,500 athletes that we represent, 92 different countries. We're just under 500 million in scholarships acquired for our players. We have an app with like 25,000 kids on it that are for free, just connecting with coaches, and we have about 13,000 coaches in our database. So about 3,500 active daily coaches on our app as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a lot of work, but it's very enjoyable, especially when you see these kids. Like, we'll find them, from a small town in Africa or Germany, England, or all over, even the US. Like, there's a lot of kids here in the US that are just missing opportunities, right? And then when we can actually help their dreams come true, it's really rewarding, and it's kind of why I got into doing this in the first place.
Well, we've interviewed a couple kids, and one of them is arguably would have been the most valuable player in the BC Boys a basketball tournament that just ended, but his team didn't make it to the end. And he's like, I think I got to do AAU in the summer to start getting the interest. I'm like, no, you don't. You can, but the way that you play, the video that you have, your height, your strength, all that, you don't need the rest of that stuff. So we should talk.
Yeah, I mean, look, a piece of advice for athletes out there that want to play college sports is you have to get attention of the coach. right? We live in a day and age now where back 20 years ago, you would send a videotape to the coach, right? So the coach would get your letter in the post with your video cassette, put it in. You know, so you got to hope they pick yours and put it in. Then it became digital with videos. But now we have so much stuff in our face, right? We have all these TikToks, Instagrams, Twitter, X. So to get someone's attention, for them to physically stop what they're doing in the day to look at your email, look at your content, to decide if this is someone I want to watch is incredibly difficult. So what you happen is these athletes who are actually really good think, you know, these coaches will just look at me, and if I do the right tournaments, they'll just come to me. And that does happen. If you're really good, you will get coaches coming to you. But the problem is, do you want to risk your whole strategy on going to college on the hope that they will see you and come to you? And you have to also bear in mind that you're definitely not going to be the only one they're looking at, right?
Well,
So
and
every
I think you said a really key thing there is the strategy,
yeah.
right? Everyone just thinks I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna post it on Instagram. Someone's gonna notice. They're gonna send me a DM if the account can accept the DM,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of them don't, and then go from there.
Well, you know, you've heard me before, Tom, talking to my team. Like, we always say, you have to have a strategy, right? We always have a plan A, plan B, or dream list, safety list. Like, I'm never one that wants to tell a kid you can't get to that school, right? I believe that if you really want it, you'll find a way to do it. So let's say you did want to go to Stanford or Florida State, wherever, but you don't have the stats yet. You're not good enough yet. Maybe you don't have the academics. Maybe you don't have the right level. Does that mean you give up? No, you have to pivot to, you know, plan B or a safety option where this is where I could go. I can get into these types of schools. Could be D2, NIA, could be a JUCO. Like, I went to a JUCO and I was getting D1s coming left, right, center at me, right? And I could have then switched and gone to any school I wanted to. So you need to put yourself in a position that gives you the opportunities that then get you to the next level you want to go to. And having people around you that can help you achieve that is a good idea. If you look at a pro athlete, what do they have? They have a team of experts, right? They have their coach, they have their manager, they have their fitness trainer. So a lot of these amateur athletes, you know, they want to be a pro athlete, but they're not acting like it, right? They're not working on their brand. Like, so many of these kids, I can't believe it, with all the social media tools now and stuff, don't build their brand. But you want to be a pro athlete. The better your brand is, the more money you're going to make in endorsements one day, right?
Yeah, and
With NIL, you can make.
we got some questions for that a little bit further down the list.
All right,
But
cool.
let's go back a little bit, and we'll get Henry, because it's not always just about ASM, it's about Chris as well, to get everyone to understand you and your company. But
Yeah.
I'll let you go, Henry.
So this actually drives me to this question: like, how did you end up in home? Like, how did you make Miami your home base? Like, this is where I want to be to build my company.
Yeah. That was pretty easy. I came here on a business trip and it was nice and sunny. I've always loved Florida. When I came here with my mum and got lucky being seen by Coach out of Orlando, and I fell in love with Florida. As a golfer, this is a great place to be. But I was on a business trip here. I went to West Palm, Miami, and just loved the beach, the ocean. It's sports, you know, it's a good sporting capital of the world. You know, you have loads of events here, and I'd lived in England, you know, I was in Iowa before. I lived in California a bit, Germany, Switzerland, Spain. I traveled a bit when I was playing golf and building the business. And I've been to many countries on just events. And yeah, I was like, you know, who doesn't want to live on a beach in sunshine all year round? And you got to remember, lads, I'm from London, right? So it's miserable half the time with the weather. And like, this is sunshine. Like, come on, it's an easy move. So it wasn't difficult to convince me. And also, it was a good strategic move because when we're trying to bring people to come work for us, you know, like, hey, we're based in Florida, West Palm Beach. Like, it's hard for them to say no to that, right? They're like,
Yeah.
great, I can live in Florida. Like, this is I can do sports and live in Florida. Like, this is a no-brainer. Where my competition's in Chicago, like, no, thank you. So it's like, no offense to Chicago, but you're going to be cold half the year, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, it was an easy win, and I don't regret doing it. And it's definitely paid out for us dividends. And people love coming to the office and visiting us and seeing where we are.
Yeah, I gotta get there one day.
Yeah, man, get on a plane. Just get on a plane and come down.
What's your favorite sports recruit? I know you're like a golfer guy, but like, if there's anything
Yeah.
else besides golfing, what is it that you love to look out to reach kids for?
I'd say honestly, I wouldn't say I have an exact preference. I love to help the athletes that are the most serious, right? They know what they want. When I was 14, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to come here. The hardest thing is trying to help a kid who's thinking like, I might come here, but I might not, only if I get the right opportunity that I want. So I always find that as soon as you get so specific, I have to have this. It has to be a school in Florida. It has to be 100%. It has to be on the East Coast. Like, dude, you're going to get really difficult. Like, you don't
Hmm.
understand how hard it is to actually get recruited. Just to even have coaches talk to you is hard. So in the fact so I want a kid who has a mind open and wants to go, but wants to see that if they have a good opportunity in front of them, they know to take it. Because we'll have kids where we'll get them great opportunities, and then I want to see what else I can get. I'm like, dude, you have like UCLA offering you a full-ride scholarship. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what are you? They're not going to hold this forever. So then they lose it, and then they want to wait, and they don't get what they want, and then they're mad. It's like, dude, you have to understand, like, this isn't just like I just pull offers left, right, and center. Like, it takes work to get them, and when we get a good one, you need to really decide that you want this. So for me, it's not really a sport. It's anyone that's just serious, committed. Love to work with that because they're easy to help. They don't waste time. They know what they want. They go for it. And there's sports that are easier than others. Like anything that's individual statistic based, like team sports are quite hard. Your soccers, your basketballs, your footballs, because there's other elements that go into it that, are team based. Like, will that player fit in the team other than being just really talented, right? Where if you're looking at like a rower, along anything athletic based is pretty easy because you can just compare stats and figures. So that if I wanted an easy job, like you just place track and field all day. It's like,
Yeah.
it's so easy. You get the stats and boom. Still, it's not easy, but it's easier than say trying to place a soccer player.
Yeah. I think you've answered my next question because that was going to be what's the most challenging sport. But I think
Yeah.
what you said about it's the athlete and their level of
It,
commitment to
you
the
know,
process.
what I would say is probably the hardest sport to place. I'd say it's going to be your American football, basketball, and I'm going to say soccer's close third. And the reason for that is just there's so much talent. So, a college coach has extremely hard time trying to figure out which player to take because there's so many players they can take that are so good. Like it's not like this coach has one kid, or sorry, 10 kids to choose from. They have like 100, 1,000, 2,000, right? So it's like, who do I take? And then, and for an athlete to get that advantage, they need someone being their voice to say, this is why you take my player. Because if you're just trying to hope they're going to take you, you're like in trouble because they have so many options, especially in those three sports.
Okay. When it comes to recruiting, boys and girls, are the opportunities pretty much the same amount?
Uh, the girls have it much easier again because there's
Really?
so many more boys trying. There's just more demand for boys to, males to play sports in college. So you're going to have a much harder time if you're on the women's side, like you have it much easier. Now, of course, certain sports level is going to be just as challenging, but overall, I'd much rather work with the women players, girl players, because it's just easier to get them into more schools, more options, more scholarships. Because a lot of these girls aren't taking these opportunities. You'd be surprised. You don't even have to be that great as an athlete to get it. I've had place girl golfers on 15 handicap, right? On the male side, I can't really get anyone less than a 3.
Right.
So over FP3 would be like the worst case. So it's a huge difference, right? Soccer as well. I remember getting, you'll laugh at this. I had a soccer player. This is going back a bit now, like 7 years, but I'll never forget it. This girl sent me a video of her just doing kick ups, right? And then just like an open goal, hit a couple shots. No game footage, probably 3 minutes of video content. And I was like, can you get me anything else? And she was like, well, my next game's not until like 3 months away. And I was like, oh, that's too long because the recruiting process is going to be done for her. So I'm like, I'll give it a go. And I sent this video to a couple of coaches I knew that I was getting very friendly with. And they're like, yeah, I'll take her right now. I'm like, are you serious? Like on that video?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. He's like, I need the players. I haven't got any. I'm like, you must be kidding me. I was like, I can place a player off this. I'm like, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. There's a bit more demand now, but I mean, back then it was, you go 20 years ago in women's soccer, there was not that many internationals coming here. Now, what social media has done has shown the world more about what you can do here in the US for college sports. But 20 years ago, it still was a thing that some people did, but not everybody wanted to do.
Right.
Right. Nowadays, it's been way more popular, which is great for people like myself, but it's also harder for kids that want to come because there's so much more competition.
You're up there, Henry.
Oh, it's me. That's true. So when we look into a recruit, right? What is the type of athlete do you look for to recruit and place, and like how do you guys do that?
Yeah, so we call it like we qualify the athlete, right? So first thing we look at is how good are you at your sport. We're trying to quantify, are you potentially a Division One athlete, Division Two, Division Three, JUCO, NIA? We'll try to put you into a bracket because then it gives us a bit of an expectation to set, and we can give them some really good feedback. So we're judging that based off the level of sport you play in any sport. Are you playing international level? Are you playing national, state, for your high school team? Like, where are you in that window? And normally, depending on the sport, they'll speak to the experts at the team that know that sport inside out, right? Like, I'm not going to speak to the basketball guys. Like, I know what basketball is, but I'm not an expert in the Division One, Division Two basketball guys that would do that. I'd do golf easy all day long. We have guys that do soccer, rugby, tennis. We have them all, right? So they're the experts. Once we quantify what level of sport they are, we move into academics, right? So like, how good of a student are you? Are you top of the class, A grades, or B, C's, D's? You failing? Even athletes who are not passing academics can still get into a school. It's just not going to be your Ivy League schools or your Stanfords or your Yales, right? It's going to be more like a JUCO, but there's a path, right? You can even do prep academy. So we're trying to look at first sport, academics, and then 3 is a really important one, financing, right? Now, if you're US, it's a different story compared to overseas. US, obviously, we have the ability to pull from student loans. Our overseas students, international students cannot do that. So we have to check, like, okay, if you didn't get a full ride scholarship, like, we'd love for you to get that. And it is possible, but we should not bank this whole future on you getting everything for free. What's your budget, right? We recommend 5 to 15K to have that as a budget. But if a family's like, no, I don't have anything, it's a hard athlete for us to help. But if their sport level is not top and their grades aren't top, yeah, we're not magicians here, right? We're taking stats and data and our network and connecting, so we only can do as good as we can based on what we have. So yeah, budget 3. Those are the first 3 things, and then we kind of look into the athlete, like, why do they really want to do this, right? So if they qualify sports-wise, academics, financially, what makes them want to do this? Is it just they saw an Instagram, thought that looks cool, right? Because if we're going to put our neck on the line to represent a player, our big pet heave is like we organize a call with the player and the coach, and the player doesn't show up. That now makes us look bad to the coach, right? So these are our relationships we've built over 20 years, really. And coaches trust us. If I call a coach and say, hey, be on this call with my player, I'm basically telling this coach, like, take 10 minutes out of your time or 20 minutes to talk to this kid. These coaches are busy, right? So if they're doing that, they expect the kid to show up because they expect I've done my job to tell the player to show up. But sometimes kids don't show up, right? Or they forgot, just can happen, right? So, but then let us know, or the link didn't work. Okay, we'll text the coach, a link doesn't work to the meeting. So like that doesn't really happen as much if the kid's super serious. So we want to make sure the kid wants to do it, why they want to do it, what's their long-term goal plan? Like, what do they want to get out of this experience? They want to be a pro one day, or they just want to get a job. That's kind of what we're looking at next, is seriousness level. And then lastly, parents. You know, how committed are the parents, right? Because no matter if we could get all these great opportunities, but parents, if they're not really wanting them to do this, then we're just also wasting time. So making sure the parents are
Sure.
on board, supportive. Also, they're not going to be like a helicopter parent, because coaches don't want to have parents that are going to be calling them every single day. Like, we're not in kindergarten anymore, we're in college, like your son or daughter's an adult. So that's kind of the 5 things we look for when we're looking at recruiting a player.
Okay. Um, like we were saying earlier about that other player, everybody wants to go D1. Everybody wants to go to the best schools. But I think the most important thing is nobody knows the best. Nobody really understands the best time to start the process, to reach out and do what they need to do. Because if you're in grade 8, I know a kid in baseball. He's probably the best player in Canada. He's getting reached out by D1 schools right now. It's all verbal, but for those guys that aren't at that level, when would you recommend the best time to start this whole process?
Yeah, well, so Tiger Woods started at 12 years old. He sent a letter out to Stanford, and he was at the time currently the best junior golfer in the world, right? Now, 12 nowadays, I think, is a little bit too young. Also, the coach can't respond to you anyway. But it just shows you, best golfer in the world at the time as a junior was already at 12 years old reaching out to universities. So for me, I think 14 is a good age. I think because, you know, when you're 12, 13, you're still developing as an athlete, and most kids still don't even know what they want to do. But 14, I've seen the kids who are serious at 14 are committed have become the most successful ones. Like if I look at all the players you've helped over the last 10 years and 20 years of my whole career, um, every time the kid's serious at 14 and they know they want to do this, they always get the best because they're committed. The next 2 years they spend wisely in terms of marketing themselves. I mean, the coach can't talk to you verbally before till you're 16 and a half years old, but you can send them stuff, right? Or I can talk to them back and forth as well. So we can be the intermediate, get information back and forth. And what you're doing is you're getting 2 years ahead of your peers. So these coaches are seeing all your results, your progression, your seriousness. So when you get to 16 and a half years old, when they can talk to you, guess who the coach wants to speak to first? You, right? Because they've known you for 2 years and haven't had yet a chance to speak to you, but they've seen your progression, they've seen your seriousness, they know that you want to come to their school, they've seen your stats improve. And then you get these other kids who start at like 17 who are 3 years behind the game versus someone else. So if I'm a coach and I've known a kid for 3 years versus a kid I just met like 3 months ago who wants to be the same class year, and I have to spend money, scholarship money, I'm going to go to the person I've known longer, provided that you're just as good as each other, right? And if this other kid's super, super good, that might have to think about that a little bit more because as a coach, I want the best player. But at the same time, if I see potential in this other player and this I've known for 3 years and it has potential to be just as good, if not better, I might still go to the player that I've known longer just because I know this kid's really committed. Versus the other kid might be wasting my time. And coaches like players who are coachable, right? They want to be coached, not just like I know it all, right? They don't like that. So starting early is never a bad thing. Starting as soon as you can is only going to benefit you or maximize your opportunity. Starting late, it's not the end of the world. But I always tell parents and athletes, if you remember the film Forrest Gump, the box of chocolates, right? If you imagine that box of chocolates is full at 14 because no scholarships are gone yet, when you get to 17, that won't be full anymore. There'll be less and less and less options, less and less spots. So you've got less options, less chocolates. So look at the
Yeah,
chocolates universities. So if you want to have all options, start young. They're all there. But if you start at 17 or 18, you're going to be left wherever you have left. And normally the best has already gone.
right. Okay. I've been on a few calls with you, some potential athletes before. What's the one thing that usually surprises you the most about what an athlete doesn't know? Like as an example, we've been on a call with a golfer and we're talking about the best places for him to play to get noticed. And I know some of it is based off of where their potential, like that A list of where they want to go. So you're talking about, you should go into these tournaments down here and skip the tournaments on the West Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, well, a lot of times I think a lot of the athletes who are looking to just haven't really done enough research into where they want to go, right? They're just like, oh, I want to be somewhere in Florida or I want to be somewhere in the South. Okay, that's good. But like, that tells me you haven't really done much research into college golf or looked at it, right? You just want to play college golf. You don't really care where you go. You just want to be in the South. But normally when you have someone who's really serious, like I want to play for Stanford or I want to play for Florida State or University of Miami. And their question is normally why. And they normally will go into, well, because I see they got the program I like the facilities, I've seen their stuff online, I like what the school stands for and their brand. Like imagine when you I'm from England, so soccer team, right? Like who's my soccer team? It's Man United. Why? Well, because I saw them when I was young, like the Red Devils, the way they won everything, Cantona back then, and we had Ferguson and so I'm loyal to that team. And if you have the same approach to college, the coach will see that oh, you really actually want to come to this school. Like and the coaches want players who want to represent their brand and be a part of that team. That's like the best teammate you can get. So more research on the kids in the process I think is needed, and they need to think more about like what are my kind of top 10 schools I'd really love to play for, and then we can really dig into like why, and then that's like the best way to maximize your interview with the coach.
I don't know if you have become so North Americanized because you just called it soccer.
Yeah, so I have, yeah. Yeah, because normally it'd be football, but you live here for too many years, I'm Americanized.
Yeah.
Even
How
my
are you
friends
doing
in
for
the UK
time?
will sort of stick for it as well. They're like, dude, why are you calling it soccer? I'm like, sorry, mate, it's
Yeah.
football.
How are you doing for time right now, Chris?
I'm good. What we want? Yeah, I can go for another 20.
Okay. Okay. You're up,
Okay,
Henry.
it's me. Okay. Um, when an athlete joins you guys at ASM, what's the process and what can an athlete expect?
Yeah, so the process, well, what they can expect is we're going to get them connections, right? If we don't get connections, any money an athlete pays us is refunded. So we have to get our players connections. That's my kind of motto here at the agency. What we mean by connections is that we are going to get you in touch with a coach. And if you don't speak to a coach, you're refunded. So we only take players on that we know we can get connections for. We don't want to waste the player's time, coach's time, or our time. So that's why what they can expect when they first come to us is we're going to do a lot of qualifying. We're going to ask you a lot of questions, make sure you're someone we think we can help. We're going to set an expectation, normally on where we think you'll probably end up, but it's never a set because you can get better. You can also get worse, right? You can come to us as a great athlete and get worse. I'm like, well, I can't get you D1 anymore because you're not giving me the results. Or we can normally goes the other way, right? So normally they start decent and they get better and we can improve it. But they have to have at least something we think we can get them. And we make that judgment, as I mentioned before, by judging the level of play, academics, etc. Once they come in, we're going to have a couple different people work with them. They're going to have our support team, which are amazing. They handle all the stuff that you don't really want to do, right? The compliance, your paperwork, your transcripts, like all the things that are required by the colleges and NCAA or NIA to make you eligible. Like they're going to help you get that all done. If you're from overseas, international, your visa process, they're going to do all that stuff for you as well. And that, to be honest, now is like super important. Now with like, Trump's made the visa process a lot longer, more tedious. So, you really want help in that process now. And then you're going to have our placement team who's going to be there to get you the connections done. So these are all ex-college coaches. They've been doing this for many years. They used to be a coach, which to me is amazing because it makes it easier for them to connect to schools. They know their coaches well. And their job is to get you those connections, advise you through that process, advise you what to talk to these coaches about, help you make the decision and help you get the scholarship money. So you're going to have those two teams working together. We also, you won't really get to see, but we have our placement director, Nikki. She's watching that whole process. She's making sure an athlete comes in our doors, that they are moving down the kind of steps correctly and not falling behind. So we actually have a flag system. So in our like computer systems, if we see an athlete falling behind schedule, we flag it. And then that every Monday we look at, okay, why is this athlete flagged? What's happened? Why is it falling behind? What do we need to do? And that athlete gets straight to priority list because we don't want that athlete to get stuck behind. So then we get them back on track so they're going down the line correctly. And then whoever like found that athlete, we call them the recruiters, and now some of them are sports agents for us. They're not responsible for getting that placement, but we always advise them to be involved and check in with the athlete, right? You are the first point of call, right? You got the team doing the work. They can see the systems, they can see what's going on. But as a customer service level, I believe like they should still reach out to the athlete from time to time and just check in, make sure they're happy, everything's going smoothly. What else can we do for them? Maybe they're going to a tournament or need equipment and we can help them save money somewhere with getting some great deals. So you get really 3 people in our team helping you in the whole process. And that sticks all the way until you get to college. And then once you get to college, we have our support team will stay in touch with you. So anything you really need, they're there. You just message them. They'll help you out. We're actually building a lot of AI technology now as well for that. And we have our new management program that we just launched, which allows you to work with one of our sports agents to help you with NIL deals and finding those contracts for you and making you money in college now. So that'll be for the whole duration of college as well. So yeah. So quite a lot.
Yeah, I like that though. If I have a couple athletes that are serious, I might just send them along to you and
Send them
see.
over. Yeah, so we'd love to help them. I mean, the way I built this was everything I wish I had when I was doing the process, right? When I signed
Yeah,
up to that agency, there was one phone call. I never heard from them. I had to always chase them. It's pretty bad. And I built this and I'm still, building it to where I really want it to go long term. I'm always trying to make it better and never settle
sure.
for just average, always want it to be the best. But I do it the way I wish I had it. So I wish like I had a team fight for me, someone I could call, hey, what's going on? A system I can log into. I can see which coaches are looking at me. So all that stuff. So we're constantly looking at how we can innovate this business and make it better and better for our players. And not just players too, but coaches as well. We're trying to always, my big goal is as soon as an athlete joins, the next day they have connections, right? That's like what we're really aiming at, a 24-hour turnaround. Now, it's not always
Right.
possible for kids under 16, but is there a way where I could get a turnaround where a kid joins at 14, they can see, oh, wow, you already had like 20 coaches look at your profile. So with AI, I'm trying to get that like as close as possible. So that's like the ultimate goal.
What is your philosophy on that client to agent ratio?
Do you mean so how many agents work with a player?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really depends on the sport. I'd say a good average is kind of 50 to 1. So
Okay.
50 players to one agent. Some sports you can double that to 100 to 1. And then once you start going over that, the agent needs a team. So we do have some agents have like 250 players, but they have like 4 team members below them. So it's like a team effort. I think once you, without the right systems in place, you're going to struggle to go over that. Like I know one of our competitors in the US is like, it's 1,000 to 1. So
Yeah.
it's not, it's not very customer service oriented. It's all platform based. So I think once you go over that number, it gets quite difficult.
I'm going to skip down a couple questions because we are running out of time. And the big thing that all athletes talk about is NIL. So with
Yeah.
NIL being all of what you hear with NCAA athletes, how do you balance the expectation? Like, because athletes here, I want an NIL deal. I want the $500,000 contract. Like,
Yeah.
how do you communicate that with the athletes that are signing in and say, look, this is the expectation?
Yeah. Look, I want nothing more than for that athlete to get that contract, right? That's what we're taking our business now is helping these players with those contracts. And a lot of it is reality check. So, we had a client the other day wants an NIL contract and they have like 1,000 followers. Like, so what are they buying? Right? If I'm a brand, I'm going to give you 500 grand. What am I getting in return for that? Like you posting an image is not worth 500K just because you're a college athlete. So kids need to understand now, these athletes need to understand like how do professional athletes make money? So I'm doing a lot of work with professional athletes, as you know, Tom. We're doing a lot of real estate stuff. We're doing a lot of brands. I've
Yeah.
actually got this brand right here, just happened to be on my desk, this toothpaste company, right? They're healthy organic toothpaste brand, like it has like medicines and all sorts of stuff. It's really good. And we're doing a brand deal with them, right? And he came in and was like, okay, I want to work with female athletes. They have to have followers between 10 and 30,000. So he wants a very specific audience based, any or two less because he knows it gets expensive. And they have to have at least 20% engagement, right? So we have software where we can scan our players, but also the whole college player database. And we can find that. So you can't fake this either. Like, it's not like you go buy 30,000 followers. Like we'll see really quickly in the back end that you have no engagement, right? So we have all these fancy computer systems that can do that for us with our partners. So you got to build your own brand. An athlete has to start, I'd say at 14 even, because you've got kids who are YouTube superstars at 7 just opening boxes, right? Building their brand. Like people are following them and following them watching open a box. So you got to create your niche. If you look at some of the best athlete influencers right now, like I look at golf, Bryson DeChambeau, he's doing a fantastic job. Tommy Fleetwood as well, creating golf content that's bringing people to their brand, and they can do commercial deals because of that. So if you've got no eyeballs on you, you're not going to get any deals, right? You need to get attention, build a fan base, and your fan base becomes your brand, right? As you look at like Cristiano Ronaldo, what does he have? He has like 750 million followers, right? Probably number one in the world. Now, you can get followers different ways. You can get it from getting to a good college because you'll get fans, but you can also get it from doing great content that people watch, like what you guys are making these podcasts and people are going to watch them, and that brings you followers and fans. And that's so you need to do collaboration, right? So this is why I'm on this show. I want to collaborate. I want to get your fans to know who I am. My fans are going to post at my channel. I'm going to get to know who you guys are. So athletes need to collaborate with people, get on their shows, be active, collaborate with other athletes that might have an audience, and build their audience base up. And we doing it for our athletes here. We have videographers now. We have media team. We're helping these athletes build their content strategy, helping them produce their videos, letting them give them a kind of a guideline what to do. Because most of these kids are clueless. Like they don't have any strategy. Again, it's like recruiting, we have a strategy, right? Media, you also have a strategy. So they have to, the quicker they can build it, the more time they can give, because it's not an overnight thing. When they get to college, if they've done this well and they have 100,000 followers or 50,000 followers and good engagement, they'll make a killing in money. I
Yeah.
mean, they're the ones who are going to make them $100,000 plus. Now, there's also a lot of talk right now in the media with Trump, and I know he's doing some college council thing with a bunch of guys and Nick Saban and stuff. So that they might change some of the rules. We'll see, because it's constantly changing in NIL. But we're always on top of that and watching it. But either way, it doesn't hurt to still build your brand. You're going to need it
Yeah,
one day, even if you go pro.
yeah, yeah. And I think that actually answers the next question you're asked there, Henry. So
Yeah.
go on to the next one.
I actually want to change my question up and ask you something that I think may be profound that you could probably answer for us. So, in this sort of business, how important is it to network with people and network with the right people?
Even talking from like my side, sports
Yeah,
man,
from your side of like, you know,
it's everything. I'd say first, it's your network is your net worth in this business, and the most important is your reputation. Right? I could know everybody, meet everybody, but in this business, like it's a very small actual network at the top. Everyone kind of knows everyone, and if you get a bad reputation, you're not going to be doing many deals. And that's why I've been so successful at college recruiting. Right? We've got a great reputation, so super easy for us now to place athletes compared to 20 years ago when I was just building it. And when you start getting into the commercial side, the deal making side, with brands like Methodology and Nike and all these guys, if you don't know the right people and have a right good relationship with them, like, because anyone can go on LinkedIn and message those CEOs or marketing directors, but if they don't know you and you have no referrals or someone that can vouch for you, like, you're not going to really get anywhere. That's why it was huge for me to partner with Ernie Els. Right. So when I saw the opportunity, I took it because I knew that would open doors for me, because they're like, oh, we know Ernie, boom. And we can start talking about Ernie, and we can talk about business. And it gives me credibility that I'm good at what I do. Right. Because he wouldn't put his name on the line for me if I hadn't already built a reputation up. And unfortunately, to build a reputation takes time. So a lot of these kids nowadays just want it overnight. It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, it takes time to do that, but you get reputation by doing the same thing consistently over time, 5-10 years, and then you're going to build a reputation for yourself. So don't give up, just keep going. I mean, you're going to get
sure.
plenty of knocks. You're going to get it wrong plenty of times. Also what gives you the knowledge to be good at what you do. But yeah,
Excellent.
reputation, network reputation is everything in sports management.
Yeah. So a little more lighthearted questions now. If you could recruit in any country for a month, you could just go there purely for fun, but the expectation to find talent, where are you going?
Oh, if you didn't put, I was going to say Barbados, that'd be great. I just lived there for a month and recruit. They have good players, man. They have good soccer players and track. I think if I was trying to sign the most players and place the most, I would say, God, that's a tough one, man. There's so many good places. I'd probably do UK because I'm from there. I wouldn't really want to be there for a month, but if I'm literally going there for purely to recruit the most players and place them, I know it's like back of my hand. I know where all the best players are. I know all the sports. I know the culture. Yeah, that'd be easy for me. I think if I actually wanted to enjoy my time for a month, I'd probably go Barbados for a month and be on the island and help the kids on the island get out here. The soccer
Sure.
players, they have good soccer players, track and field. They've got some good rugby players. So yeah, USA as well though. Florida, come on. But we actually do get a lot of players. You guys are in Canada, so we do get a lot of soccer players from Canada as well. I think we've done over 250 players in the last year and a half from Canada for soccer. So we're doing very good stuff in Canada. And now we're doing a lot of ice hockey. Chase Sakiaki, his dad's a Hall of Famer.
Joe
On
Sakic,
the
yeah.
Yeah, his son's now on the team. He's doing an amazing job for us in ice hockey. So super excited to see the ice hockey division grow for Canada as well, because that's not something we've done too much before. And we normally we normally focus on what we're good at based on the team and their talent and their expertise. So we don't try, say we are the best at ice hockey if we're not, right? Well, now we can, because we actually have like a legend, working here, and he has a great network. He understands the game, and we're building that network like how we did in soccer and golf. So I'm excited to see Chase grow ice hockey, and it's going to be Canada's going to be a great market for him. So hopefully you
Yeah.
guys can help us out there and help as many
Yeah.
Canadians.
I reached out to Chase as well and kind of talked to him a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, he's a super. He signed some stud from like New York or New Jersey like literally a week or two ago. So they should be going up to New York on a trip in like 2 weeks for I think it's the hockey like junior combines. You should ask him
Okay.
about it. But he's going
Yeah.
up to some hockey tournament up there, so they'll have fun.
I think I got another lighthearted question for you.
Far away, man.
If you had an if you could choose any athlete, like, you know, past or present, that you would just love to represent for the stories, like, who would it be?
Oh man, that's really hard because there's so many good ones. Man, that's tough. There's just so many good ones. I think I don't think that's fair to pick one individual because there are just so many good ones. I think everyone that we put on our Instagram deserves the same opportunity as every other athlete, right? There's not one athlete deserves it more than the other. They all deserve it. They all wanted it. They did it. They're successful. I think I can recall one I'm like really proud of that we did, which was a kid who was like from a very unfortunate background, South Africa. We managed to get him like 60 different Division One offers in the space of like 2 weeks, and then went on to the Olympics, won silver, so that was pretty cool. And then had another golfer that I worked with. I saw talent in him at 14 years old. I was like, this kid's going to be brilliant. And dad was like unsure to work with a recruiting agency, and I was like, dude, I had so much confidence when I spoke with him. He was like, dude, the passion you have, like, you've convinced me. And then as soon as that kid turned 16, similar, like 60, 70 D1 schools spoke to him. So yeah, but every kid we work with deserves the same opportunity. Like we don't put kids priority over others. Like everyone is a priority for us. And I think for us, like, just to be honest, sharing the whole success of what we've done for every athlete, all the sports in so many different countries, like that's what to me builds our brand and makes our brand, right? It's not just on one athlete, it's all of these stories, how we're able to do it in 90 different countries, different sports, and we can always get it done. Where other agencies will focus on one or two, like they'll use their best athlete. I think the better stories are the ones that aren't the best athletes, because they weren't getting any opportunity and we made an opportunity for them. So
Yeah.
that's huge for us.
What's the best way for anyone listening to the show or any social media things that we send out to get in touch with ASM?
Yeah. I mean, obviously you can follow our Instagram. I think it's great. We always put great content on there. So that's asmsports.co. We just built up a new kind of central hub for everything we do. So asmsportsgroup.com. You can get links to like our college, our NIL, our management. So it's probably gonna be the best place to go in the future. Obviously reach out to our scouts around the world. I know, Tom, you're doing a great job helping us with connect with great players in Canada. So if you're in Canada, hit up Tom for sure. He knows how to kind of pre-qualify and connect you with us. But yeah, go to asmsportsgroup.com is the best source, and we have all the links and media stuff there.
Okay, right on. Really
If they want
appreciate your time.
you can
Sorry?
follow me as well, Chris Vidal Sports. You can come on my Instagram and follow the journey as well. I do kind of more behind the scenes what we're doing. So if you're interested to
Yeah,
see how we run a sports group, that's how you can get me.
Yeah, I need to go give
we'll
you a
put a
follow
link.
and connect with you.
Yeah, we'll put a link on there for sure. So we're gonna wrap it up with our 8 quick
Appreciate
hitter questions.
it.
It'll
Okay,
take like 30 questions and then we're done. Henry, do you
let's
want to
do
go
it.
for it?
You want me to do it? Sure, let's
Yep.
do it. Okay, we're gonna start off with this. What's your favorite sport to watch as a fan?
Formula One. I love Formula One.
Best golf course you've ever stood foot on and or teed up on?
St. Andrews.
What's your dream foursome?
Tiger Woods. I've put any L's in there. Probably, you know what? Richard Branson. I'd like to play Elon Musk or Richard Branson. I'd like to kind of get in their heads and understand business stuff they do.
Go to
Two
club
two good golfers and two average players.
yeah. Go to club when you need to make a shot.
I'm pretty good with my driver. I'd say driver.
What's the best on course meal?
Best on course meal.
Yeah.
A good old English bacon buddy. It's like a bacon sandwich, but it's English version.
Have you ever beat Ernie Els at least 9 holes out of 18?
No. No, I'm not beaten. Maybe on the sim. I'm very on the score on the sim score, but no, not on golf.
Who's your favorite superhero?
I don't really have one. I'd probably maybe say like Batman or Superman, but yeah, probably Batman.
Okay, who's your GOAT?
My goat? Good question. I don't really have a specific one. I'd say the person that most influential, like made this all possible for me is actually Tiger Woods. Because without reading his book, none of this would be happening. I'd probably be in a different path. So I've always looked up to and respected what he did in golf, and kind of set the bar higher for work ethic and standard, and that's given me a lot of my drive and success. And also I'd say my grandfather as well, because without him none of this would be possible as well. He took me everywhere. So I'd say they're two of my most influential figures.
There's just some pretty good goats. There's just some good goats. Chris, really appreciate your time. I know it went a little bit longer, but the
Good.
information
Enjoyed it, guys.
the information that you give, I think, is going to help out a lot of people, and can reach out either to you through me or whoever it is, and get these
Yeah.
guys where they want to go.
Yeah, and
Yes, sir.
look, guys, if you need any players to come on this show, let me know. I'm happy to help do introductions, and if you want to talk to college athletes, maybe some pros,
Yes,
like
sir.
you got my number, so hit me up.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll reach out for sure.